Oh my gosh, I have so much to tell you. Hi everyone, Colleen here, back with another video. So let's start from the beginning. I remember August 13th and I remember spotting and I was like, my period came early. I didn't think too much of it. I ended up seeing spotting the 13th. I was expecting my period the 17th. Tell me why a week went by and another week went by and another week went by and I'm still bleeding. It's almost 3.5 weeks I've been bleeding now. And by the time Labor Day weekend rolled around, it was that Saturday that I admitted myself into the ER. Did an ultrasound and I was diagnosed with fibroids. I had 2 fibroids in my womb, little itty bitty one and one 15-centimeter one. And I was sobbing. I was like, no, how did this happen to me? I'm living good, I'm living clean, why? If you don't know what fibroids are, they're tissue growths, benign tissue growths within the uterine wall. They're not cancerous. Usually they don't lead to anything more severe or serious. Usually the solution for them is to, if they're small enough, to laser them out and or have a complete hysterectomy, which is the removal of the uterus. And I'm 33, by the way. I'm 33. I have 2 boys. I don't really want more kids, but I'm not in my final relationship yet. I haven't met my husband yet. So who's to say whether I'm done having kids? I don't know yet. And I don't want to remove my womb. This can't be the only way. So I remember calling my mom after I left the hospital and like, Mommy, I have fibroids. My mom had fibroids. She had a hysterectomy. My sisters have fibroids. It runs in the family. It runs in a lot of Black women. No one's quite sure what causes it, why it comes, what's the reason, what it means, but we all know that it's not supposed to be there and it could affect a lot, your hormones, your mood, and the like. So, you know, that diagnosis, as sad as it was, it explained a lot to me. It explained why I felt this constant fatigue. I was always exhausted. I had no energy, and I thought it was because I work an overnight shift job. I wake up at like 2:30 a.m. and I work till like 9-10 o'clock a.m. And no matter how early I went to bed, I just never felt refreshed. Even on the weekends when I have 2 days off in a row and, you know, time to catch up on sleep debt, I was never getting credits back into my debt. It was just dropping pennies in a well. I had no energy for my children. I had no energy for my family. I had no energy for chores. Anything that I did was just like dragging and lagging. Brain fog. I was experiencing severe incontinence. Like as soon as I needed to use the bathroom, it was coming out. I could not hold my urine. Like I have a weak bladder since I was like age 8, honestly. But this was something different. It was like, I can't hold it. And I was like, what is going on? This can't be age. This is making no sense. I was also experiencing anxiety and depression. And I don't play with those words lightly. I need you to understand, being anxious is not the same as anxiety, and having a down day is not the same as depression. So I don't like calling anxiety and depression on myself. I don't play with those words. It was moving into anxiety and depressive states. Mind you, those are diagnoses, okay? I'm not diagnosing myself, and I don't want you to ever diagnose yourself. Let a doctor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist do that for you. Don't call down anxiety and depression on yourself and then claim it in the name of Jesus. No, I'm not claiming none of those, all right? If I feel like, the sadness is getting into, it's affecting my daily lifestyle, then it's time to go see a medical professional. I'm not calling down anyways, because I see people do that and it makes me so angry. Like, stop calling down anxiety and depression on yourself. But I was experiencing anxiety and depressive states, and it was tied to my hormones being out of whack, the fibroids. All of these, like, what is going on was tied to the fibroids that I had no clue was growing in my womb. I'm Colleen. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm a research queen. I love research. I love science. I love health. I love wellness. I love holistic solutions. You can't tell me anything and I'm not going to question why, when, what's the purpose. That's the kind of person I am. So as soon as I hear fibroids, guess what I'm going to do? That's me researching countless videos, understood what fibroids were. Hi, I'm also Colleen, a fasting queen. I lost 60 pounds in 8 months through alternate day fasting. So I was like, let me see if fasting can cure fibroids. Because fasting, when done right, it sparks autophagy. And autophagy, it literally stands for self-eating. When the body is no longer processing and digesting and extracting and doing all these food-related functions, it has time to work on cells and repairing, reviving, recycling, renewing. So through all that research, I think it was that time I came across Mindy Pelz. Once again, why you didn't tell me? Why am I over here talking about fasting for damn near 2 years and I had no idea who Mindy Pelz was? And with that, I came across a podcast interview she did talking about the benefits of a 72-hour fast. I've been 36-hour fasting for this day. I was ready. I was desperate. I told you, you need to be desperate to make a severe change for yourself. And the way I was bawling over my womb because I didn't want to lose it, I'll not eat for 3 days. That's okay. That's okay. It don't taste that good. And so with that, I did my first 3-day fast. Okay, mind you, I didn't reach 72 hours. I reached about 62 hours. A full 2 days and a half of a day. Before I started my fast, I was changing my pad 3 times a day, 3 ultra-sized tampons. Mind you, I've been bleeding for 3.5 weeks. So that was day 1. 3 pads, 3 ultra tampons a day. Day 2, I went down to 2 heavy-duty liners. Not a full pad, but 2 heavy-duty liners. By day 3, I was down to a liner. And day 4, I had stopped bleeding. I didn't fast on day 4. The day after I stopped the fast, I wasn't bleeding anymore. The day after I stopped the fast, I stopped bleeding. And it made me so nervous because I was like, this has to be a coincidence because this really could not have worked. Just like that. It didn't even decrease it. It stopped. It really stopped. Like every day I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. I haven't bled in over 2 weeks now. Since that day, I haven't bled again. I'm waiting for my current period now. Like I'm dying for my period to come so I could start the cycle again and start, really tracking, but we'll get into that. So my 3-day fast shrunk my fibroids to the point where I'm no longer bleeding now. Why? Hormone balance, okay? So moving on, that was a big update. I did my first 3-day fast. So when I'm doing the 3-day fast, I don't have any coffee. I realized that for me, if I want to have a successful fast, no coffee can be involved. And that's not for everyone. It's based on your gut microbiome. It's based on your blood sugar levels. It's a very personal thing. But if you find yourself struggling on fast days and you had a cup of coffee in the morning, take out the cup of coffee. It's most likely raising your blood sugar. And when you raise your blood sugar, you raise blood sugar cravings. Once I realized coffee in the morning for me on a fast day is no bueno, it's been smooth sailing. I could easily do a 1-day fast, like easily. I drank no coffee, I drank no tea during my 3-day fast. I had no electrolytes. I had no supplements. Thank God I had no medications. The only thing I did take was my D3 K2 drops. My doctor told me to take these to build up back the iron that was lost from the excessive bleeding. Every so often when I felt like I need a little pep, I would grind some sea salt in my hand, lick it, and then drink some water. And do that until I felt like, okay, my sodium levels are back up. I only drink water. I have a magnesium water maker that I will link down below if you're interested. Magnesium is a big part of women's health, and it's highly overlooked for some reason. Lack of magnesium in a woman's diet, in a human's diet, but especially for women as it affects our hormones. We're very hormonal creatures as women. How I broke my fast, I broke it with bone broth. Can I tell you something? On day 3 of that fast, I had the most radiant skin in the world. I looked in the mirror, I was like, the hell is wrong with me? I was so thrown off about how beautiful my skin looked. It was so radiant that somebody else marked on it. They were like, you're glowing. What the heck are you doing? I was like, oh, this is just getting more sun. Speaking of that, I also learned that there may be correlation between low vitamin D and fibroids. So I started sunbathing during that 3-day fast. I put on a little tube top, put on some short shorts, laid outside for at least 30 minutes. I just put SPF on my face because I get hyperpigmentation easily. The rest of me, no SPF. I know there's you need SPF. Yes. If you're gonna be outside all day, sure. But if you are an indoor creature and you're blocking your already hard to penetrate skin tone with more sunblock, it's no wonder we have vitamin D deficiencies. If you think about it, a lot of Black women experience fibroids and they have low vitamin D. There's a bit of a correlation there. It's because we're not getting enough sun. We're indoor creatures. We work inside. We work out inside. We hang out inside. We're not in the tropical and at the equator regions in which we derive from, which our pigment is supposed to help us. I live in New York where half of the year it's cold. We're inside. We're bundled up. We're not exposing our skin. So I started sunbathing and to help me metabolize vitamin D. Yes, you could take a supplement, but if you're not going outside and getting it straight from the sun, there's a problem. Here's another update. So during this 3-day fast, I decided I was gonna go plant-based, primarily plant-based. And plant-based is not the same as being vegan. Plant-based means, you have a vegetable-based diet, whereas vegan, it's an ethical lifestyle. Why? Is because I have high cholesterol. Although the body does produce cholesterol, I don't need to get it from outside sources. I'm 33 and I have high cholesterol. And I told this to my mom and she's like, you still experiencing high cholesterol? Colleen, you know you have high cholesterol since you're 3? I was like, I had what? I thought it was since 10. I had knowledge of having high cholesterol since I was 10. My mom confirmed to me I've had high cholesterol since I was 3 years old. So something inside of me doesn't work. I don't process cholesterol well. And since 2020, in my doctor's records, she said I've gone from high to higher. And this is with a 60-pound weight loss. This is with being food and health conscious. This is with eating greens and having fiber and, I've heard so many people, I've been posting plant-based what I eat in a days on YouTube shorts and people are just mad. They're just, why are you eating veggies? That's not enough. You need meat and meat and meat and meat and meat. I'm okay if I just have plants for a few weeks. Calm your titties, Karen. Why are people so mad when food is going into another person's mouth? You eat McDonald's, they harass you. You eat vegetables, they harass you. You eat carnivore, they harass you. Shut the I know eating plant-based is not a bad thing. I know it. You know why? Because it's vegetables. What's wrong with eating more vegetables? More root vegetables, more fiber. I said primarily for a reason. That means I intend on having seafood should the occasion arise, preferably fish. If I'm in a situation where I want salmon, I'll have the salmon, I'll have the cod, I'll have the flounder, I'll have the bass. My family is West Indian, we're Jamaicans. People of an island, we love fish. But yeah, I'll have fish occasionally, but 98% of the time I will be having a plant-based diet. Yeah. With that being said, I am now on cholesterol medication. My doctor said it was a good idea as a preventative method. I'm on a cholesterol statin, 1 a day. I actually need to take one. So yeah, that is my change to my diet. I am plant-based and I love it here. I love it here. I am loving it. I'm having so much fun cooking. I'm not a cook, but I'm having so much fun exploring Pinterest, making wholesome meals and controlling what goes into my food and my body, picking healthier oils. Oil is a big deal. Oils are a big deal. Another big update, I'm back in the gym. I re-enrolled to Gold's Gym. I had went last year and then stopped due to monetary reasons. I was like, I could just work out at home. I don't need. I'm back and I'm so happy to have body pump back in my life. And another update is I'm planning on removing my IUD. I want to remove it. At first, I thought all this bleeding was because like something had shifted in my womb as far as the IUD goes, and I thought that was causing the bleeding. So mentally in my head, I was like, oh no, I need to get rid of the IUD. Paragard is ruining my life. Whoa. I've heard of women have heavy bleeding, but I've had it since 2019. I only have a normal period with my Paragard in till this day, until that moment. But it wasn't the Paragard, it was obviously the fibroids. But in my head, since my liver isn't processing things properly and my Paragard is made of copper, that's a lot of copper in my body for my liver to process. And I'm thinking due to whatever underlying condition I have, that it might be causing the jaundice I was experiencing. Jaundice is like the yellowing of the eyes and all that. Because I'm black, it's hard to tell in the skin, but it was coming through in my eyes. I was having yellowing in my eyes. And it would flare up when I had a prolonged fast, but also when I didn't have a prolonged fast. So I wasn't sure. But now that I think about it, it could be a bit of copper toxicity. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I think at this point, I think it's a good idea to remove the IUD. Yeah. So as I said, my doctor suggested an iron supplement and vitamin D. So I've been taking this. This is Mega Foods Blood Builder. It's 1 a day, which I love. I don't like taking 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 out throughout the day with meal, no meal. It can be taken on an empty stomach, so it's fast friendly. It can be taken with food, so it's feast friendly. Also composed with vitamin C, which helps the absorption of iron. Brown rice, organic orange, organic broccoli. I love it. It's vegan, it's wonderful. Blood builder. It's worth the money. I will link it down below if you're interested. And for my D3, this is Athletic Greens D3 K2. This is a tincture with 600 servings. K2 helps pretty much break down the D3, because D3 by itself, it'll just build up, but the K2 like helps deliver it. Lift up my tongue. The tongue is the like fastest absorption route. And I put it under my tongue and let it sit. Organic olive oil and vitamin E. And that's how I get my D3K2. And those are my primary supplements. Like I make sure to have these two every day because I'm low on vitamin D and I'm low on iron. It's making a difference. My cholesterol, my iron, my D3. I have 2 other big life updates. Okay, so let's talk about Dr. Mindy Peltz, who is now my fasting hero for women. I'm a woman that didn't check her cycle. My period would show up whenever it felt like it. I would just be prepared with a pad in hand, and I didn't know about phases. I didn't know about times of the month. I didn't know anything. So when I started listening to her podcasts, her interviews, her YouTube channel, I've read her book digitally and audiobook, and immersed myself into the mechanics of fasting for a woman. Once you know better, you do better. So I now fast like a girl. And if you don't know what that means, it's time to read her book and or listen to her interviews. There's a plethora of them, extended and short ones on YouTube, and really understand why we need to fast some days, stop fasting some days, and why our hormones are so affected by fasting. And it could help you with PCOS and hair shedding and endometriosis and fibroids and losing weight and feeling better and removing anxiety. Just a host of different behaviors can be affected by how you eat, what you eat, and when you eat. I literally just got a copy of her book. I had it digitally, but now I really wanted it physically. This is Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Mindy Peltz. So in a combination with her information on fasting like a girl, I now use I was looking for like the perfect period app, and I found 28. And 28 is like my kind of app, but you're able to see your entire cycle. It tells you what cycle you're in, what phase of the cycle, when you're ovulating, when your next expected period date is. It gives you insight on your emotions, your body, your career, your romance based on your cycle. It also gives daily workouts based on your cycle. So that's another thing that was big, is working out based on your cycle. There are times where I would try to heavy lift and didn't know why I couldn't push through. Like, girl, it's the week before your period, go have a seat. And this, it really, like, I understood, and I like had to push it into my brain, like, really respect your body. If your body is saying, yeah, bro, sis, it's eat the chocolate, put down the weights. It's for a reason. And it's not necessarily eat the chocolates, but there's something in the chocolate that you're craving, whether it's higher glucose to feed your progesterone levels, or it's the magnesium within the dark chocolate you're craving. There's so many things your body is asking for, posing as other things that you're used to and familiar as, but the body don't lie. So now that I'm cycle syncing in tandem with this awesome app, which based on your cycle, you should be having certain foods. Love this app, and so happy to have it, and it's free. Like, that's awesome. It's free. They're giving away a lot for free in that one. That's the 28 app. So the last major change I have made, the last big update in my health journey, is I have started shopping phthalate free. My body care, I am swapping out for phthalate free products and phthalate free containers and phthalate free cosmetics, phthalate free oral hygiene. Phthalates are hormone disruptors found in everyday consumer products. Phthalates are used as plasticizers to make hard plastic softer and to preserve fragrance in personal care. Phthalates can disrupt your metabolism and have been linked to obesity, higher waist circumference, and increased risk of diabetes. And in women, higher phthalate exposure is linked to early puberty, endometriosis, infertility issues, and shortened pregnancies. I found out about the effects of phthalates through listening to Dr. Mindy Peltz in numerous interviews. If you're looking for a menace to attack, it's phthalates. If it's phthalate free, it's more than likely toxin free. No sulfates, no parabens, no, those kind of things. It's more than likely natural and a toxin free product if you see that it has no phthalates. So I've been swapping out my products for phthalate free products. And reducing stress. Reduced stress is, I didn't understand what reducing stress meant. I guess I've never been stressed until I was in the role I am in currently with my job. Like, it's stressful. And I could see how the effects of stress affects people. And I never understood how to reduce stress, because I didn't know if I was stressed or not. Like, I didn't know. I know when I felt anxious about something, and I know when I didn't like something, but I didn't know when I was inducing stress. So basically, she said something and it clicked for me. Ask yourself, am I safe? Am I safe? Do I feel safe? When you're in a safe space, you more than likely are stress-free. So if you ever had a hard time understanding the premise of stress and reducing stress, ask yourself, do I feel safe? Whether it's in your environment, in this point in time, with this person, do I feel safe? And it put everything into, I got it at that moment. Do I feel safe? And that's how I started tackling stress. And anything that I couldn't control or had no control of, I started letting go. I was putting too much emphasis on having something go a certain way. I just let go and let God at this point. Like, if it's for me, it will be. Am I okay now? Am I safe? That's all I need to know. Everything else will be okay. So at this point, I am really, I have a great sense of the direction I want my health to go in. I have goals now, which oddly enough, I love having a goal to accomplish, especially when it comes to my health. And, because of these new goals, I've moved past vanity. I know what I want my health to look like. I know how long I want to live. I know the kind of parent I want to be to my 2 boys. I'm no longer confused. I'm no longer wondering. I have no more guilt to give. Colleen's okay. Colleen is okay. And I hope you're okay. And I hope this helped you. So on that note, I'm gonna let you go. If you enjoyed this content, hit the like button because it lets YouTube know that this is good content and helps me push it out to others. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.